Hello, Lucy here. I just wanted to take a moment to send a huge shout out to all of you tuning in from around the globe. We have listeners in the UK, Germany, Canada, the USA, Morocco, Spain, France, Singapore, India, Argentina, Australia. I mean, it's unbelievable, and I cannot thank you enough for all of your support with the show. Creativity knows no borders, and together we are building a community that celebrates inspiration in all of its forms. So, wherever you are, continue to take that road less travelled, and let's keep exploring this wilderness of creativity together. Thanks for listening. Stay wild. Do you regret starting a podcast? That's a bleak question to start with. Hello, and welcome to my second solo episode of The Wilderness of Creativity. This feels very strange. I've usually got somebody sitting opposite me in Riverside. I can see their little faces, put me behind the mic and ask me to talk about my own journey and about my own creative practice and about my challenges. That feels strange. So for those of you who are perhaps just tuning into the podcast for the first time, maybe you've just listened to a few of the first episodes, I'm wondering, who is Lucy Colgan? I am a mum, and we had him in 2020, so he's a lockdown baby. I am a performing arts teacher, so I trained in theatre performance and music, and then in 2005 I decided that I wanted to explore my interest in dance and dance in education and choreography. So I did my professional diploma at Trinity Laban, and since then it has been an absolute ride. I have just followed my nose, and I've talked about this in various episodes. I do have a tendency to just follow my instinct a lot of the time, and I remain open-minded to possibilities and opportunities and working with people. And it has meant that my career has been very diverse. I have worked in lots of different settings, both educational and community. And it means that I've got a range of skills that I draw upon as a teacher now in the classroom. I travelled to Mallorca after I graduated, and I spent a year performing as a cabaret singer and as part of the sort of production host team of Thompson Holidays. And we performed every evening, and I did the poolside games and activities with the hotel guests during the daytime. It was an absolute blast. I had an amazing time, and I'm so grateful that I was supported by my parents to go and do that. You know, they encouraged me always to have experiences and try different things. And I remember very distinctively sitting on the plane and a lady sitting next to me, and she's saying, "Oh, you know, where are you going? You're on holiday?" And I said, "No, I'm moving out there." And she was like, "Wow, that's really exciting." I said, "Yeah, I've got no idea where I'm going to be living." I didn't know what the whole role was going to entail. And yeah, I cut my teeth. I really did learn the ropes about sort of audience engagement, hosting, obviously singing most nights, and dancing in shows. And then as I moved around within Europe, sort of building my skills in sort of technical theatre, supporting cabaret acts who were visiting the hotels with their lighting and sound and kind of operating the desk. So yeah, really, really valuable skills that I've brought forward with me to lots of different projects that I've worked on ever since then. I worry a lot. I worry that I don't always have the right words, that I won't be able to articulate my ideas, that I have nothing to say. And I think that's probably true in lots of different arenas, because there are always smarter people than me. There are always people who have got more experience than me in different areas. But I think something that I'm so proud of myself for is the ability to learn and grow and listen and appreciate the insights that other people have to share with me. It's not a competition. And I think I've spent a lot of my time over certainly the last sort of 5, maybe 10 years learning that. And I think as a creative, being open-minded and having conversations and leaning into those really difficult places actually makes me more in tune and aligned with what I am trying to create and bring to the world. There are times when I wonder whether I have what it takes. I do question how I'm going to continue with the momentum that I've started. And I do. No, I don't regret it. Whatever happens to the podcast, whatever happens to the platform in the future, it's giving me a sense of purpose. It's creating connection for me. And I'm just enjoying learning new skills. Best guest interview on your show. Woohoo! That's a really hard one because honestly, genuinely, I don't have a best one. They're all my best. They're all my best interviews. Each guest has brought such wisdom to the table that I couldn't possibly choose. Their energy, their time, their experience, their insight, their creativity, all of them, I couldn't choose. Okay, next question. How many episodes have you released? I think it's 20 now. Yeah, it will be 20. So the Christmas series, 21 through to 25. Obviously, this episode will be 25. It just makes sense to me. I like the idea that I started on the 24th of April 2024. I'm going to finish on the 25th, like Christmas, 25th. This is where my brain goes. And potentially in the new year, I might start releasing the monthly episodes on the 25th as we start moving through. I don't know what will happen when we get to 30 or 31 because I'll have to go back to 1. But anyway, that's kind of where I am. So yeah, 20 episodes so far. And did you know that most podcasts hit the 7 episode mark and then they stop? And I can see why, because it is a massive undertaking. There's so much. If you're doing all of it, if you're doing the kind of emails, reaching out, hosting, recording, editing, producing, promoting, I mean, all of these things I do by myself. If you're doing all of that, yeah, I can see why or how some people might get to 7 and go, do you know what? I need a Saturday night. What topics do you like to talk about? Creativity. What topics do I like to talk about? I like talking about most things. I suppose because I'm a first-time mum, I like talking about parenting. I like talking about people. I like talking about things that matter. I can cope with surface stuff for a little while, but eventually I do need deeper connection. I think that is, anything that sort of allows me to understand and connect more. I think, yeah, I'll talk about anything. Apart from physics. I mean, it's just because I don't really get it, but or maths. What microphone do you use? Good question. I use a Samsung microphone. This came recommended to me by Sarah. So when I was setting up the podcast, I spoke to her about all the different equipment that I needed. Can I just point out as well that when I said I was going to start a podcast, I didn't have any equipment. I did not have a laptop. I did not have a microphone. I did not have anything. So I think that's quite hilarious and tells you everything you need to know about me. I'm going to be jumping in both feet. I have no way of knowing if I can swim, but I'm going to make it work. If I need to float for a little while, great. But yes, I use a Samsung. I had great advice from one of my best friend's husbands, Mark, who talked to me about all the different laptops. I mean, he's creative. Goodness gracious me, he created like this spreadsheet. Thank you, Mark. Shout out to Mark. Next question. Have you thought about writing a book? Yes. Yes, I have thought about writing a book. I'm sure if that opportunity presented itself, I would grab it with both hands. I don't know what sort of book it would be, but it's exciting, isn't it? I mean, just the idea of writing a book. And speaking of books, by the way, I have interviewed several of the women who have contributed a chapter to Mandy Nicholson's book, Beyond the Ordinary. It's out now, and I believe I've just recently seen that Mandy has launched a podcast where she is reading chapters from the book, or inviting some of the authors to read their stories. So if you haven't yet checked out the book, it is available on Amazon, I think. And if you head over to Mandy Nicholson's website, you can also get it from there as well. But yeah, maybe one day I'll have to chat to Mandy. What sound annoys you the most? A noise annoys an oyster, but a noisy noise annoys an oyster most. Snoring. My other half snores, and I hate it. Because for the last 8 years, I have not slept properly, really. Snoring or breathing, I find quite irritating. Nadine Pittam and I talk about this in her episode. It's only a short 15 minutes. In fact, we did the roll and tell as part of the episode, which is really fun. Favourite comedy podcast? I quite like, it's called Parenting Hangover. It's an Australian podcast, two dads talking about their kids and the joys of parenthood. I really like it. Speaking of podcasts, so my niece, Emily, has recently launched her own podcast. It's Marine Biology in 5 minutes. It's available on Spotify and Amazon, I do believe. The podcast space is brilliant with Anna Xavier. The SEO Mindset podcast is brilliant. In 10 years' time, that's brilliant. I've already mentioned Nadine Pittam. Her podcast, This Won't Fix You, is brilliant. Who's your favourite podcaster? I like Michael Douglas and I like Davina McCall. I like them as a duo, as podcasters. I think their energy and the way that they bounce off each other is just magic. I'm going to say Sarah McDowell because she is the reason why I'm here. She's given me more than she probably would ever know. So I think Sarah McDowell is my favourite podcaster. She's also, I would say, teetering on the edge of becoming a friend. And I couldn't be happier. I'm going to end on this question. Why do you love podcasting? I love podcasting because it allows me the space to be creative. I love podcasting because it's about you, the listener. It's about connecting with you and inspiring you to consider taking the road less travelled. Like me, like so many of my guests. I don't know where it's going to go, but for now, it gives me the fire in my belly. It gives me so much joy. And let's be honest, we all need a little bit of that in our lives. So I love podcasting for lots of different reasons, but it is joyful and it's intimate and it's about you, it's about connection, it's about storytelling, and it's about creativity. So I'm very grateful to have this platform. I hope you've enjoyed the Christmas special this year. Who knows, I may be here next year. It might be bigger and better. I hope you've enjoyed the solo episode. It's been lovely talking to you. And if you have any questions, then, get in touch. If you've got any feedback, any comments, if you've got any questions, then fire them my way. And I will get back to you. If you are interested in being a guest on the show next year, then head over to Instagram. You'll find the express an interest form. Tag a friend, share this episode, share this Christmas series, share the podcast with
people who you love, who you work with. Please don't hold back on writing a review. The reviews make a huge difference. Thank you for the last 8 months of support. Thank you for voting in the Women in Podcasting Awards. Thank you to my guests. Thank you to my friends and family who continue to support me in this lovely little venture. Thank you to my other half and to my little boy, who actually is my biggest inspiration every single day. He's the best thing I've ever done. And I just want to make him proud, and I'm just so excited about one day him listening to Mummy talk about all of these amazing things with incredible creatives. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stay wild.